It's the age-old recipe, isn't it? That we've been just cooking up constantly this season. And every time I want to say, well, that costs us the league, but then somebody in front of us also doesn't win. This time it's Inter. So somehow we're still in it. And it's impossible for me to understand, because the team that plays like this should not be in the top 4, but somehow we are in the top 4. If I had just seen the first half of the game, I would be like, yeah, we controlled the game. We were unlucky with our chances because Pulisic had a few good chances, but he missed. It wasn't his day. But we cannot expect him to have great days every single time. But despite his misses, we were in control. We were getting chances. I think the Pulisic-Füllkrug duo was especially good last night. I'm not a Füllkrug hater, but I don't think he's what we need. But maybe last night he proved that he is. He can be useful. He was that physical presence. He kept the ball and then laid it off to Pulisic mostly, which created a few one-on-one goal opportunities. But Pulisic was just unable to put them away. But that's not his fault, because we controlled, like, we had another 45 minutes after we came back from the break to kind of tweak a few things and then score goals. And what happens? Fiorentina sees that we control, but we're unable to score, so they get encouraged to kind of do more and do more. And in that 20 minutes, when we came back for the second half, Fiorentina just completely took over. They had the shots, they were passing, we had no idea what was going on. And in the 64th minute, I think, the pundits on CBS said, surely something must be coming from Fiorentina in any minute now. And guess what? The next move, the next corner, resulted in a goal. And it was completely deserved, because Fiorentina took over the game. And that's why you have a break. Fiorentina used the halftime break perfectly, because they realigned, they said, yep, you know what, let's go for it. They can't score. We're in the game still. And they did it. And for some reason, we were like, well, I don't, what's going on? Why is it so hard to keep playing the way we were playing before the break? I don't understand. I don't understand why this keeps happening. We just fall asleep for like a 20-minute period every game, and then we concede. And then we scramble to get something back. And in the 90th minute, somehow, Nkunku is able to equalize. He's been better, actually, and this was a good strike. It was a good goal. So I'm not taking anything away from Nkunku. I'm just saying, how do we let go of these games? And then I think we can consider ourselves lucky to even come away with a 1-1 draw. Because at the 96th, 7th minute, I don't know, we had a good counter. It was very promising. I was like, okay, maybe this is going to be the winner for us. A few good passes, good moves. And then Salamakers tries to lace the ball off in front of the Fiorentina box. And then just gives the ball away. And then Fiorentina create their own counter. At the end, they get a cross, is deflected, and Brescianini arrives. Nobody's marking him, apparently, and just puts his foot through the ball, and it hits the crossbar. It's one of the last moments of the game. And if I look at the statistics after this game, had they scored in that moment, it would have been deserved. I would not be able to say anything. But once again, we somehow get away with it and make it 17, 18 games without a loss. How are we doing this? In the first half, there was nothing wrong with the game except for our finishing. But it seemed like we were doing well because, and I said this in my last video, we needed to stop playing for those crosses from the wings. We needed to force the play inside. And I felt like we did in the first half. And it was great. It worked. We were creating chances, dangerous chances. But then in the second half, we kind of almost went back to this crossing game. And it was just not effective. And it's so plain to see. We need to use the middle more. And we did in the first half, and it worked. Please, it worked. Why not keep doing it? But today, nobody was just exceptional. Estupiñán, I still don't like him. I guess he did an okay job, but he lost the ball a couple times. The second time, he just directly passed the ball to a Fiorentina player in the Milan half, in the middle of the Milan half, close to the Milan box. How can you make that mistake? You cannot make that mistake. At this level, if you want to play for Milan, you cannot do that. And he did. And the other time, he tried to, backheel the ball in the air and then just made a fool of himself. Yashari was kind of invisible, pretty much. I liked Ricci. I think he can get more time because he was consistently good this game. He didn't get anything, but he had good passes, good tackles. He was solid. And then Füllkrug. I don't know what to say. He wasn't bad, but is this what we want? I guess. Maybe we can give it another try against Como. Try to see if Pulisic finishes this time. We're just too inconsistent, and this was one of those games where, we fell asleep, let go of control, and then conceded. And maybe the next one will be the same, or maybe the next one will just win 5-0 against Como, who are way better than Fiorentina, so I don't actually know. I'm kind of afraid of that game too. Unless we play like we did the first half and then just put away our chances. But what if we keep the 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, and then Leao and Pulisic on the 2 wings, Füllkrug up front, and Füllkrug will be the target man, and then Leao and Pulisic can be those inside forwards. How about that? What if we tried that? I'm frustrated because we keep dropping points because we fall asleep during the game for 20 minutes. And it's not the first time. You can watch back my videos. There were a bunch of other games. I'm sure I'm not saying anything that's a surprise at this point. But what I liked about this game is the first half. That's what I liked about this game. That was probably the best thing, is that we were creating chances. We were kind of creative with our chance creation. It wasn't just the wings, it was the middle. We were able to generate goal-scoring opportunities. I would like to see that more. And maybe Füllkrug can pick up a few assists. But what I didn't like is once again just falling asleep for no reason. No apparent reason. And even if we allow Fiorentina to take over the game, at least defend better. Because once again, it was a set piece. I don't even have a player of the match because I don't know who played better than anybody else. Was it Salamakers, who just continued to do the work like he always does? Or Pulisic, who created a few good moves but couldn't finish? Or was it Ricci, who was just consistently good throughout the game? I don't know. I can't pick. But for the sake of argument, let's say Pulisic. Even though he didn't score, he had good passes, good dribbles. He created good chances but just couldn't score. But I feel like we're starting to slip into that bad run of form where we just can't win games, and I don't want that. I don't want that in January. I want us to get back on track, so hopefully against Como we can win somehow. And then just go on. Get back on top of the league maybe somehow. But if we keep this up, I think it's just a matter of time before our luck runs out and we slip out of the Champions League positions. Because we can only tempt fate for so long.